Nashville with the legendary George Ghrun, Gruhn's guitars. George is one of the leading authorities in the world on electric and acoustic guitars. Legendary, all the top players in bluegrass, country, rock, you name it, have come through these doors to ask for George's advice and counsel. George, welcome to Guitar Shop TV. It's a real privilege to have you with us today.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
When you think of guys like Jeff Beck and Clapton and Page that really started out with, well, in Beck's case, I guess he started with that Esquire when he was in the Yardbirds, but gravitated and had a flirtation with the Les Pauls. In Page's case, a mainstay instrument, but then migrated over to the Strat. I mean, any thoughts? I mean, or any kind of conclusions, or is it just personal taste?
Well, I think to a large extent that is personal taste, but prior to Clapton playing Strats, I didn't really see that it was that big a deal on Strats. The Tellys always, to my opinion, sounded better than Strats. I still like them better than a Strat, but Clapton didn't play Strats before he did the Johnny Cash TV show in 1970, right. And he bought 4 of them from me that weekend that he came in, and he bought some parts over at Showbud, which was just a few doors up the street, no longer there. And guitars like Blackie are a result of that trip. I don't know how much, if any, of the components of Blackie came from here, but what I do know is that prior to that, he wasn't playing Stratocasters.
He was primarily a Gibson man, right?
Yeah, he had been. And then Stratocasters really took off like a rocket after that. I mean, the fact is that Hendrix was already using Strats, but Hendrix was, at least from what I could observe, plenty successful at selling records, but was not nearly as influential on getting other people to imitate his style or to imitate guitar trends. He played Stratocasters and he played Gibson Flying V, he played a variety of guitars, and toward the end he was more Strats than others, but the fact is not a lot of people were trying to play his style music, if only just because they couldn't.
They couldn't, right.
And in order to be influential among other players, it has to be approachable enough that to some extent they can speak your language.
Right.
If you are so difficult to imitate that they don't even conceive of trying, then you don't become influential in setting musical instrument trends or influencing other players because they don't even try. Yeah. It's sort of like Earl Scruggs had a banjo style, or still has. He still plays. He played this Thursday at the Ryman next door, which is a good thing to have next door. But his approach was such that other people felt like, gee, they could play that tune. They might not play it as well as he did, but it influenced people to buy a banjo and to learn to play Scruggs style. So that right now, Scruggs imitators are the mainstay of bluegrass music.